She's in our makeshift studio. Let me take this time tonight to welcome you to our makeshift studio at Gabz FM, or should I say at UB, and wish you a very good morning.
Good morning to you and the listeners. Thank you so much for having me.
We're excited to have you here. I think it's a huge occasion, but you've worked really hard to make this conference happen. The Youth Sustain conference started yesterday. Today is day 2, and there's going to be something very exciting happening, if I'm not mistaken, later today when certain things get signed, let's put it that way. But perhaps let me get you to give a bit of a background and a summary basically of what happened yesterday.
Thank you so much. So the Youth Sustain conference is all about bridging advocacy with data-driven research. We want youth to move more from an activist standpoint to actually inform their advocacy with data and move into the policy sphere advocacy space. So the Youth Sustain conference is working in those intersections of academics and also just trying to drive youth in that direction. So yesterday we had a lot of presentations from young people on academics. On the academic front, we had young people presenting some of their projects on climate smart agriculture, food production. We also had environmental economists. So really we just want to drive forth the fact that young people are more than just doing on the streets. They're also very informed. Yes, that's the word.
I like it. So there was a lot of, say, synergy that happened, especially when you are talking young people, the academics, academia, and then also just mixing it in with the real life, some industry players. I know there were a couple of panel discussions and conversations around that. So what for you personally, as Tinaye, are some of the highlights, if I can put it that, of yesterday's conversation, and what are you looking forward to regarding today's program?
Thank you. So some of my highlights were also finding out that, for me, really, I was inspired by the fact that young people can actually get into these very technical roles. Young people are doing research that is very country specific, by the way. They're researching into issues of milk production, things that affect us on a day-to-day. Things that affect us on a day-to-day. So I was particularly very inspired by a particular young girl who was talking about the environmental economic indices on pollution, on how we need to strike a balance between bringing in foreign investment and also just making sure that when they come, we know they're going to bring pollution with them, but then in the long term they're going to bring technological advancements. So we need to strike a balance between the two, and that's something that I found to be very mind-blowing.
You know, it's interesting to me because every time we speak climate change, I always question whether we really do have the data, the statistics, especially when we're talking Botswana. But certainly going green, you know, the future is certainly green, and we cannot talk about the future and not speak artificial intelligence and technology, you know. So I think it's good that these conversations are starting to come up. But let's bring it to today. What's on the list that has you excited? What are you looking forward to? What is someone missing out on if they're not here?
Today, we are going to be launching the Youth Climate Council, Botswana. So the Youth Climate Council is a global initiative by youth, for youth, that promotes youth moving into more policy advocacy, interactions with the government in a very, in a very productive way. So today we are going to be launching the Youth Climate Council. We also have representation from BNYC, which is really great because it will take all of us to actually come to the table and make sure that youth don't just stay in the corridors of conversations and actually are part of policy making.
I like that. Okay, so I want to know how someone can find out more information if they're listening or watching this and they just want to find out more about what's going on and even this council that is being, you know, signed into effect. Where can they get that info?
So we're actually streaming the Youth Sustain conference live on the Facebook page, GAYO Botswana. So you can search for GAYO Botswana, and you can also look for the Youth Climate Council Botswana page. We have pages on social media platforms, Facebook being the most prominent one. And you can also just reach out to the numbers on our pages to have a direct conversation with any of us. I'll be more than happy to receive those calls.
I love it. Tinaye is a programs officer with GAYO Botswana. And by the way, GAYO is spelled GAYO.
organization.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, we'll catch up with you again a little bit later and certainly try and bring more of what is going on here to you listening. Stay with us. This is Gabz of Empower to engage your world.